people are very skeptical. The culture of purchasing stuff online and having them delivered to you is not something that is ingrained in us. People have a lot of trust issues. It's only because we're not using credit cards, there's no refund process. We cannot exactly return stuff, so there's a lot of trust issues with that. So what my startup does is we are leveraging on the mobile money payments that are being done already to create an escrow system where people can come through our platform and sell it. The platform sells as a middleman to handle the transaction. So they have their mobile money, they're trying to purchase something online, they go through Katika, which acts like a referee, make sure that the transaction has gone on smoothly, that the seller has sent the whatever to the buyer, and the buyer has received it intact as he has seen it online. And once the transaction has been concluded between the seller and buyer in amicable terms, the funds are disbursed by Katika. And Katika makes money by having a little percentage that it charges between 0.5 to 0.7%. So, like I said, my problem statement, we do not have a lot of credit cards. It's mostly mobile money. And there's that trust issue that comes with doing e-commerce in the classical way that is done in America. The preferred method that is usually used in e-commerce now is cash on delivery. So people have to buy stuff, and then when the delivery guy, let's say the Amazon guy gets to your house, you need to pay him in cash there. And that is very inconvenient. It's not digital. Those payments at times cannot be tracked. A lot of inconveniences. So there is mobile money, and it's usually serving as cashless on-delivery payment. Now, Katika is making the system completely digital while adding an on-pair system where the transaction can be monitored by a third party. Now, mobile money is already very used. It has a huge penetration in my country and in a lot of other African countries. So that's the silver lining. We're leveraging this technology that is used by almost everybody that owns a cell phone. So almost everybody in Africa that owns a SIM card and a cell phone can do this transaction. But then very few people, about 10% of the population has a credit card, and even less than 5% of those 10 people, of that 10% use it for online payment. They mostly just use it as an ATM. So our silver lining is the mobile money that is already working very well. But mobile money is not a solution, like I told you. It's working, but there's no system for refunding. Once you've paid, you've paid. It's just a cashless kind of payment, but it doesn't have the amenities that credit cards bring. So our solution is an Escrow mobile money payment gateway. We are a payment gateway where we are just aggregating mobile money APIs. In my country currently, these are the two big telecom companies, MTN and Orange. They are the ones that have the biggest share with mobile money. So we're aggregating their APIs through our escrow system and having the buyer go through us for getting to the seller. Once the transaction is okay, we disburse the funds with a little percentage. Katika removes anxiety in buying, because that's what happens a lot. You buy something in Africa and you have a lot of anxiety. Is it going to make it to you? Is it going to make it the way you saw it at all? And if it doesn't make it, there's nobody to complain to. Your money is gone. So if you buy a $1,000 Rolex watch, you don't get it, your money is gone. But in Katika, we are there to make sure that that doesn't happen.
All right, we're at 5 minutes if you want to wrap it up.
Okay. So our solution is targeting already existing e-commerce platforms, the huge Facebook marketplace, and any individuals that are trying to make business remotely in the country. Our competition is the existing cash payment that is not really working well, the existing mobile money, and the credit card that doesn't have huge penetration. And our go-to-market strategy is to establish a relationship with these already existing e-commerce platforms that are using cash on delivery because they are trusted with your products. But now, if they can integrate our solution in their system, it becomes even more a more rigid framework. We're equally going to make our APIs, documentation, and plugins available to developers so they can integrate it on other websites or little niche e-commerce platforms they're trying to build. I think Okay, so we're an idea stage stuff, so what we're needing is seed funding, traction, and scaling. Thank you for your time. I welcome any questions.
Got 3 minutes.
So what if the buyer is not trustworthy? In other words, what if something is delivered and they decide that they want to try to scam the company that they're trying to?
Okay, thank you for that question. So Katika, while just holding the money for the transaction to go on smoothly, equally implements policies in place. E-commerce platforms in my country do not really have rigid policies for refunding things or whatever. So we're implementing rigid policies and terms of condition. So if you're signing up to use Katika as your payment method, you have to abide by those terms and conditions, which are really clear. We have an example. The package look like exactly like what you're seeing online. Dimensions, if it's an item that has dimensions and texture and everything, it should look like that. Unless you can prove it doesn't look like that, then your claim is void. So we implement these policies. We have template policies and we have custom policies for people that are trying to do business as individuals. Yes?
So how do you verify that the buyer is not lying?
Usually we have a system where they can send a picture of the item, and before the seller is selling that item, he takes a picture too, and the delivery guy takes a picture of the item too. So that is a verification step we can use for most items. Yes.
How about sellers, like counterfeit? You know, the picture will look, they'll say Rolex, then it gets there and it says Bolex or something like that. How will Katika keep the seller accountable to the buyer as well?
Thank you. Again, with our terms and conditions, if you're going to use Katika as your payment method and you are listing an item as a Rolex, you need to list it as an actual Rolex, because we will go through the process of actually evaluating whether that was a Rolex or not. And if you're listing an item as a copycat of a Rolex, you don't put the brand. That's a little bit the way China does business, and that's the way they go around this counterfeiting stuff. If you're putting a knockoff, you don't put the brand there. So we know that's a knockoff, and the price usually should reflect that. So it's a lot around terms and conditions, and this is really to restructure how we Africans approach e-commerce. Yes?
Could cryptocurrencies and blockchain tech help with the escrow process and things like that?
Yes, we are thinking of implementing smart contracts with Ethereum blockchain for the escrow process. That is actually a technology we are looking at to implement this week.
Right on.
Thank you.
12 seconds left. Is it?